Hey yo, what's up guys, your boy Ed from Banlist. You already know for today's video I want to bring you guys my Banlist prediction. I know that YCS Vegas just happened and we did not get a list yet, so I wanted to go ahead and talk to you guys about what I thought were going to be some of the hits that we can possibly get coming up pretty soon. So let's go ahead and get into it. Starting off, of course, I'm going to have all of the cards that I think that should get banned, and I have about 5 of them. The very first card that I think should get banned should be Moon Iglesias. I think this card is a terrible card, and I think that we should really start hindering the water deck just a little bit, because the water deck is actually really strong. Including that, I also think the Bahama Shark is going to be one of those cards that need to go. It just really makes Totally Awesome come out just a lot more simpler, and then it just gives the water deck so much more fodder. Continuing on, I think that we cannot forget about the branded deck, of course, and going back to Albion, this is the one card that I still think that needs to get banned in order for people to stop puppet locking and doing all of those good crazy stuff that, you know, just it's gonna make the game a lot harder for everybody else to play or to enjoy. Continuing on, I think that Malice is a deck that definitely needs to get stopped, and by doing that, I think if we hit this Griffin card here, Malice wouldn't be as like overwhelmingly powerful, and that is also going to include Link Decoder. These are the 5 cards that I think that we should completely ban off of current Yu-Gi-Oh meta. Now, continuing on, for all of the one-ups, I actually have a lot of cards. Let's go ahead and get it started. I think that Druid Swarm and Baldrake are both cards that are extremely powerful, and they're crazy. They're not even weak monsters either, so I think that because they are 2500 and higher, I think that those cards are going to just be cards that impact the meta so much because you can't easily clear them out, and then they're just so strong to get over. So 2 of the cards that we need to get over. Bonfire, I think that Bonfire is going to be a really good hit for the Raizio deck, and it's definitely something that we need to go ahead and hinder a little bit. It is there's a lot of other stuff that are going to help us be able to play as of like Rotas, so we don't really need the Bonfire, and I know that it's just such a free Rota. So let's go ahead and hit it to 1. Fiendsmith Engraver. Fiendsmith Engraver is the other card that I thought should definitely get hit to 1. Now, I know that some of these cards like Tracked is definitely another way to go ahead and hinder Fiendsmith a little bit. I don't think the Requiem is the problem. I don't think that we should be banning Requiem, and I also don't really want the idea of banning like Moon either. So I think that those are the 2 strongest hits to be able to hit the Fiendsmith engine. Now, a couple of cards that I think that can't come back to 1 just real quickly. We have Heavy Storm, Zodiac Trident. I think the Zodiac Trident is definitely a card that can't come back. Block Dragon is not really such a threat anymore, because like it's not like people are going to abuse it with like Adamascipators anymore, because it's not like we have 100 synchros that are like bearing the floor and they're going to be like stopping everything. Continuing with that same idea, Meowmoo is going to be one of those cards that I think that can definitely come back, because I didn't really enjoy Prank Hits, but I did enjoy using the little small Prank Hits engine. And of course, Adamascipators. Masterpiece has been power crept. It's a card that we can just go ahead and make sure that, you know, we just bring back out of the meta. I think that Masterpiece is going to 1 or 3. It's not going to be relevant. We're going to go ahead and move on to the semi-limits real quick. So now from here on, I think that we're going to start off with Change of Heart. Change of Heart is a card that can come back to 2. Crossout is a card that I think that should get hit to 2, and therefore, by saying that, I think that we should also match that energy with Call by the Grave, I'm sorry. Continuing on, I want to be able to see a lot of like those graveyard decks prosper a lot. It's one of the things that I don't want to hit Abyss Dweller, but I do want him to do more. So Grass is Greener, it's a great card. I think that the Grass is Greener should definitely be able to have the ability to come back to the meta for a 2 of. It's already back at 1, and people aren't really doing much with it. Continuing on, Triple Tactics Talent. It's a card that most people are already playing at 2 anyway, and I don't think that it's going to really change the meta or impact us in any kind of way. But yeah, those are all of the 2-ofs, all of the semi-limits. I don't really like a lot of semi-limits, but you know, they're there just because they're definitely impacting game in somehow. Moving on to, of course, all of the cards that I think should be unlim. Cyberjar is a crazy card that I would love to see to come back. I know that it's at 1 right now and it's not doing anything, and it's going to be such a slow card to play anyway because it's the flip effect, so might as well. It's been power crept. Now, 2 danger cards that I think that should be at 3 right now, it's going to be Tsushinoko and of course Rabbits. These are great cards, and I think that they're definitely going to help a lot of other decks that are like very like graveyard reliant and stuff like that, and I do like graveyard reliant decks a lot, so I think that's a really good card. Continuing on, of course, I have to match the energy with Diagram here, I said Masterpiece to 1 or 3, and Diagram it's a 3 of. It has to come back to 3. Like it has to. I think it's one of those cards that you bring Masterpiece back and True Dracos ain't doing anything. Lightning Storm is a card that I think that can definitely come back to 3, and it's not really going to impact the meta as much as people think. But yeah, those are all my personal opinions. I'm so glad that you guys were able to stick around to the very end, and thank you guys for listening to my own opinion. A lot of these are just very quick explanations. I don't think that the meta is like super crazy, but I think that there is a lot of things that we can definitely do either to hit or to bring back so we can play other older decks. There's definitely still a lot more cards in that meta, and if not in the meta, that are in the ban list that we can bring out to the meta, and then they probably still wouldn't impact like today's gameplay that much, because like Raizio Malice is just so fast paced and it's just like really hard to keep up. It's not like True Dracos are going to be hand on hand there with them or other decks like that. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video.